You know, I was thinking about something. Well, I was thinking about it because oh, by the way, hi. Hello. It's me, your boyfriend, slash girlfriend, slash day friend, favorite content creator. And I saw a video today, a short little video, about this guy who was talking about how there aren't that many like genre or generation defining games for the PS5. It's talking about how if you play God of War Ragnarok, which ironically I'm replaying it on PC, but if you played Ragnarok, you played a great game. You played Ghost of Yotei, you played a great game. Like there's lots of great games out, but there aren't many games that would be generational, generation defining games. And I started thinking about that. And I do think there's some validity to that statement. There aren't that many generational defining games out in these current generations, whether it's for Xbox, Nintendo, or PlayStation. But my take from this, and this might be controversial or just wrong, but it's my take, is that I don't think we're due for many of those. Like, I know Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to sell $800 billion. We've had multiple videos on this. We're not going to rehash all that. But even then, I wouldn't take that as necessarily defining a generation, right? That's just people waiting for a franchise that's been literally absent for like 13 years. But when I look at like generationals, it's like, like when Zelda came out, Legend of Zelda, at the very least, Ocarina of Time when that came, or when Super Mario came out, and how that like revolutionized the platformer space, and how Zelda introduced Z target so you could have combat in a 3D space. Like I'm thinking like Final Fantasy VII using FMVs and like pushing the PlayStation to its absolute limit. Like I'm thinking of things like that. Even like PS3 Metal Gear Solid, right? Like you had games coming out that either did something interesting with the technology or push technology further or push storytelling further or something. But I think as gaming has continued, we have gotten less and less of those. If we just go back one generation, the PS4 generation, right? How many games could you say are genuinely generational defining games? Like you could make an argument for like the narrative single player games, right? That really like took things to a different level. So you have like your Last of Us, you have your really I'm just thinking right now Last of Us, but obviously other games like that. You have you want to say even like superhero games really, leveled up or whatever. But as insofar as on the whole, we aren't really getting games like that. And I think it's not because talent is worse, although I would be remiss to not talk about the fact that lots of the people who made those kinds of games are no longer in this industry because of just the endless bloodbath of firings. But I would want to say actually that it's because everyone else has leveled up in a way where it's harder to be a genre defining or a generational defining game. Like again, the guy referencing, he was talking about Ghost of Yotei, Ghost of Tsushima, God of War Ragnarok, and just on one console. Those are all banger games. Those are all bangers. You can look at other consoles and see multiple games. You're like, yeah, these are like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 games. We're getting, and I've said this with my past, we're getting so many games every year that could be a game of the year winner of any year previously. You know what I mean? Like last year was crazy. This year's probably going to be even crazier. But the quality of these games are so high that we're now being flooded by a sea of great games. So it's harder to stand out. Back in the day, even though games were getting better and better, there was still a huge gap. There was still a huge gap between like even like a decent AAA game and like a holy shit AAA game. Like you had levels to it. But as that gap shrinks to the point it's like on top of each other, it makes it harder and harder to stand out. The best analogy I can think of, if you guys are, anime fans or manga fans like myself, is that people keep wanting to go back to the old way, like we had the big three. And the big three will always be Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. No matter what people say, oh, throw in Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball's not big three. It predates that. Oh, throw in Hunter's not big three. Sorry, too many hiatuses. This is the big three for a reason. I know it's a marketing thing, but still, it's the big three for a reason. But people want to go back to those days. And I'm like, it wasn't good that there were just basically 3 series carrying an entire industry at the time, right? Like the entirety of Shonen was being supported by 3 mangakas, 3 creators. You don't want that. You want now, where it's like you stumble, you trip, and there's like 20 decent to great series, even though they'll probably get the axe because Shonen Jump is notoriously quick to hatchet things. But you'll get like a ton of great stuff. Hell, I mean, right now there's a new anime called Black Torch, which is from a fucking canceled manga. You're getting canceled mangas who are good enough to get anime series. So like, maybe I'm getting too much into the anime side of this analogy, but needless to say, there's just too much good out there. So it's really hard to be like, this is the game of the generation. This is the game of the PlayStation 5 generation, or this is the game of the Xbox Series generation. This is the game of Nintendo Switch or Switch 2, because a lot of their games, well, Switch 2 especially, is like a lot of the games available on the Switch, but a lot of their games are just high quality games. Even if you don't love them, a lot of those games are high quality. So I guess I'll put it to you guys. Like, do you think I'm insane? Like, does that make any sense that the reason, at least my reasoning, that we're not seeing these genre defining or generational defining games is just because there's the gap is shrinking, so it makes it harder to have a game that like really truly stands out? Or is it just Grand Theft Auto 6 and I'm just dumb and GTA will be like the game that defines everything?